Well, boys, match week 34 is upon us. We've got all kinds of games this weekend. We've got, is this the downfall of Chelsea? It's the beginning of the end of Chelsea's reign in the Premier League. We're going to find out. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James, still support Arsenal. That's Brad, he still supports Chelsea. Down below, that's Sean. He is always supporting Tottenham. Boys, hello. Are you guys ready to do this? We see Brad's been rebanished.
I am absolutely
outside. Back to outside Stamford Bridge protesting. Frank Lampard's lineups.
I am absolutely happy. There is not one statistical, mathematical scenario that lands Spurs in the relegation zone.
That is straight facts.
It's a huge win for you guys.
I forgot when it was that Arsenal mathematically secured their position for next season's Premier League, but it was months ago. Months ago.
Yeah.
Might have been before the World Cup. Who knows?
Ours was probably long ago because we have like 50 some points. So we were probably mathematically safe a while ago. I've reached the point in my club where I don't have to count the points of the relegation teams to see if I might get relegated.
You know the beautiful thing about even in Arsenal's worst moments over the last 8 years, I never
counted up the bottom three.
I never had to see how many points the relegation teams could potentially amass.
Anyways, Brad, how was your day today?
Oh, it's great because we're not getting relegated.
It's still mathematically possible.
No, they're not getting relegated.
You said yesterday, Bournemouth won't get relegated. They're on 39 points. Hey, how many points does Chelsea have?
39. Bro, you guys have been...
Okay, so Bournemouth's not getting relegated. We're not getting relegated.
Bournemouth are in a run of form that indicates to me that they might actually win another game in the next four. Chelsea are in a run of form that indicates to me that they might get relegated.
It's interesting.
And I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll find out this week.
It's interesting we bring up Bournemouth because kicking off this weekend on Saturday is Bournemouth hosting Chelsea. Then we go City Leeds, Spurs Palace. That's the boogeyman game for Sean. Wolves host Villa, Liverpool Brentford. On Sunday, it's the big one. Newcastle hosting Arsenal from St. James's Park. We got West Ham United and Manchester United. Fulham and Leicester is on Monday. Brighton and Everton are on Monday, and then a tasty one at the bottom is Forest hosting Southampton. But because we're talking about it, we have to start at Bournemouth. Chelsea, informed Chelsea. Their form is 6 losses in a row. They're coming to town. That's Frank Lampard's form. I don't know what Chelsea's form is.
I think it's like 7 or 8.
Yeah, we should check into that.
7 because we had a draw under
Potter.
No.
Did Potter lose his last game?
Yeah.
And then
Bruce tied. And then we lost both to Real Madrid. That's when Frank came in. We don't count.
We're only talking Premier League. Anyway, so Bournemouth, Chelsea. So yes, we're joking. We've been joking for the last 3 or 4 days about Chelsea getting relegated. Obviously, Chelsea's not getting relegated, but technically, it's still a possibility.
It is mathematically possible, and we have been crunching numbers to figure out how this can happen, and it can still happen.
So the numbers the scenarios we're trying to figure out is how Arsenal win the league, how Newcastle finish 4th, and how Chelsea get relegated, all in the same league table.
Well, Newcastle has to lose a lot of games, which means Liverpool has to lose a lot of games because I think Newcastle plays at least 2 of these teams that they can draw 1 game. The rest they have to win out. So to catch us on points.
Yeah, Newcastle can lose this weekend and then win the rest of their games, and I'm happy.
Right, that happens, then Chelsea's safe.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because Newcastle plays both. They play 2 teams in that zone. Hold on, I'll get it because they play 2.
Yeah, and so if Newcastle beat them,
if Newcastle beats Leeds and then Newcastle beats Leicester,
we want them to lose.
Chelsea's mathematically safe because they cannot get enough points to pass us.
Got it. I understand. I'm tracking now. Okay, so we need Leicester and Leeds to get points off of Newcastle, is what you're saying.
That should be what you want is Newcastle to draw both of those games, and Leicester and Leeds needs to win the rest of their games.
Honestly, I don't really care about Newcastle. I'm just being polite to Joel. But I want Arsenal to beat Newcastle this weekend. But we'll get there. Okay, let's get out of hypothetical territory, Brad. Tell me why Frank Lampard. Okay, Sean, tell me why Frank Lampard is going to beat Bournemouth this weekend.
Tell me why you're going to get kicked in the face, Solanke.
Why didn't Sean take that bait there? Sean did not take the bait on the hypothetical of Frank Lampard getting a victory against Bournemouth.
Dominic Solanke.
Yeah.
He is amazing. He scored against us for the winner.
Chelsea Academy graduate gonna take down his old club.
The entire EPL is a Chelsea graduate.
Don't say it. That's fact check false.
That's fact check false. But Solanke actually did come from Chelsea, went to Liverpool, and then to Bournemouth. Was there?
When did he leave Chelsea's academy?
Signing. I have no idea.
When he was 12,
18.
It doesn't
19?
matter.
I want to say 18, 19.
When he was 12?
No, it was after. It was definitely not when he was 12. It's not Declan Rice here.
So he was born in 97.
But anyways,
17.
he was
17 when he left.
He was Eddie Howe's record signing for Bournemouth. Then Eddie Howe got fired. Do Chelsea win?
The answer's
Probably not. Probably not. But it depends. Depends on the on how we start. If it's Mudryk, Fofana, Maduka, we win.
You really think that? You really think that if you get the lineup that you want, that Chelsea are going to win?
Yes. I don't need bums. Look. So I think the question to Frank was like, "Hey, these players don't want to win, right?" I think we answered this question when we talked about like Spurs mentality, and that like, no, they want to win, but do they need to win?
Do they refuse to
Sterling
lose?
doesn't need to win, right? Sterling doesn't need to win. Oba doesn't need to win. Kovacic doesn't need to win.
Well, yeah, the thing about some of those players, with the exclusion of Aubameyang, like two of those players have won Premier League titles before. They know they're not winning a Premier League title this year. They know they're not winning a Champions League this year. So they're like, okay, let's just pack it in. I think
cool, we win, yay! But if we lose, oh well.
It doesn't affect them. Yeah, there's no skin off their back. But like.
Right.
I see what you're saying. I take the point. It's well taken that you would rather play youth players that have a future rather than players who are leaving at the end of the season.
Correct.
Totally on board with that. Like if you have players that you know you have to get rid of, then they shouldn't play a minute. Because the problem is everyone already knows that Chelsea has to offload players this summer. So no one's going to be coming in for what Chelsea value their players at. Everyone's going to be like, well, everyone's going to wait Chelsea out.
You're right. Nobody's going to see Kovacic bang in 5 goals and like, yo, he's worth the 50 mil, 60 mil.
Yeah, you're gonna get like a lot of these players, like Aubameyang.
Gallagher isn't gonna get up. Yeah, Aubameyang. Apparently, we have to give him away. Which okay, whatever.
It's the same thing that Arsenal had to do with him. Is they had to buy him out of the contract essentially. I mean, like even the players that have market value, the players like Conor Gallagher, I still don't see teams like. Could Conor Gallagher stay and thrive and play well for Chelsea, be an important player for Chelsea? Probably.
Sure.
But the problem is that Chelsea's like, okay, we'd rather move him on because we have other players that we would prioritize. And so all the other teams that are interested in Conor Gallagher know that. Crystal Palace might come back in. Liverpool need midfielders. You know, all these teams that need players, they're going to look at Chelsea and say, okay, you need to get rid of players. We'll give you $25 million for Conor Gallagher. And like that's going to look like pittance for him. Well, maybe that might actually be his value. I'm not sure. But
I think the ask was 50. I think like 35, 40. I think but you're probably right. The first offer is probably 25, 30.
I'm sorry. There's no world where Conor Gallagher is worth 50 million pounds.
English tax.
I don't even care about English tax. Joe Willock went for 25 million. And Joe Willock was banging in goals for Newcastle when he was on loan at Newcastle. So like I don't buy this. Conor Gallagher is worth 50 million. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I think Bukayo Saka is worth $1 billion, £1 billion.
You're probably not wrong. If he was on Barcelona, he'd have a £1 billion release clause.
But you know what I'm saying. So, okay.
I'm with you.
So you give me the lineup one more time that you want to see playing.
The front three, I want Mudryk on the left, Fofana up front, and Madueke back on the right side.
Yeah.
He played really, really well against you guys.
And he was your best player for sure. Absolutely.
By far.
Who's in the midfield for you? Enzo, obviously.
Enzo.
You kind of have to play Kovacic, right?
No. Conte. Enzo.
Conte.
But wait. I forgot about this on the Arsenal game. Conte was the second striker. What is going on?
Yeah, we didn't talk about this. We didn't talk about the fact that you played 3 holding midfielders against Arsenal.
And pushed Conte to the... Frank Lampard is a legend of Chelsea Football Club, and I will not speak disparagingly about him.
Well, the problem is your attacking midfielders are all injured. Mason Mount's injured. Kai Havertz is... I don't know what Kai Havertz is doing, but... So then
let's put in Omari Hutchinson or Chukwuemeka. Like, why are these guys not playing? Like, cool, let's throw one of them in there. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
put Lewis Hall in there. Like, Lewis Hall's a center mid, and he's more attacking. Let's put him in there. Like, whatever.
I don't know.
I think Chukwuemeka or probably not Amari, because he hasn't been around the first team since Potter left. So probably Chukwuemeka as an attacking mid, or Gallagher. Screw it, put Gallagher up there. Gallagher, Conte, Enzo.
Okay. I mean, I think that Bournemouth are going to want this game more than Chelsea. I honestly believe that.
And then Chilwell, Badiashile, Fofana, Asby, just so you have some sort of senior leadership out there, and bump it. Let's put Selena in there, but it's probably be Kepa.
Is Mendy still injured or something?
I think so. I think Mendy's broke his hand in training again.
Okay.
So.
So obviously,
it's not like our defense has been poor, right? Like, our defense has been good. Like, it's the third best in the Premier League.
That is true.
Just can't score goals. So let's change up the attackers. If you want to keep Thiago Silva in there, you want to keep our defense the same, fine, sure, let's do that, Frank. Great selections, but let's get these attackers that don't care. Or sorry, let me rephrase. These attackers that want to win but don't need to win off of the field. So
fair enough. Obviously, you're predicting Chelsea to win.
Yeah.
I actually do think Chelsea will win this game. So I think it's something your fortune you have to get lucky. Your fortune has to change here. So
maybe we'll see.
These
are the last 2 chances this week and next week. Our last 2 chances for points. After that, I'm saying Chelsea's losing every game. Put it down on the notes.
Let's turn our attention to the leaders because the City did beat West Ham on Wednesday, so City are back on top of the table at this point. And
Haaland is an alien.
Haaland is now officially the most goals scored by a single player in a single season. So congrats to him. But City welcome Big Sam and the Leeds United to the Etihad. Big Sam had some interesting comments in his presser. He's talking about how Pep, Klopp, Arteta, none of these managers are better than him. He did make it a point to say that Big Sam, he's like, I don't think I'm better than them, but these guys don't know more than me. They're not better than me. So Big Sam obviously rates himself. So do we see a world where Big Sam is able to save Leeds this season? Obviously they're losing to City, that's without question. But can Big Sam in the other 3 remaining games get enough points to save Leeds?
Big Sam's winning this weekend.
No, he's not.
Some Bamford craziness for the goal, or Inato, yeah.
Pep's robotic memory doesn't go back far enough to know the football knowledge that Big Sam knows.
Yeah, 68. He's seen a lot.
He's gonna pull some stuff out of his 80s butt that Pep isn't. That the computer is not gonna know how to compute.
I mean, and like Big Sam was. This is me remembering Tim Z talking about this when Sam came back and saved a team. Was like he was the first one to use analytics. He was the first one to do these training methods that most at modern clubs happen. So like,
yeah, but football passes you by. It's the same thing. Like Arsene Wenger revolutionized English football, but football caught up to him and football passed him by. Like there's evolution to this. It's not a static thing where you just reach the top. At some point, Pep is going to get passed by. Whether that's Nagelsmann or Arteta or whoever, someone we don't know yet, Ten Hag. Like Pep is going to get surpassed at some point. But
Pochettino.
Yeah, no, not Pochettino. But like, yeah. So like, I'm down with the argument that like, oh, you know, I've done things like I'm a manager like, but I think football has moved beyond Big Sam to a degree.
City's winning though.
Yes,
be clear. City's winning this game.
I don't think. I would just disagree on a fundamental principle that things pass you by.
Okay.
I think they only pass you by if you're unwilling to adapt.
Certainly.
To a modern game.
I'm with you.
If you stick to a certain principle and refuse to adapt because this has worked for me in the past, you will get passed by.
Okay. I'm with you.
The only reason I say that is in football and the best perfect example in American football, the best perfect example of this is Jim Harbaugh's offense that led to the Legion of Boom. So the Seattle draft strategy was we need enormous secondary that can handle somebody we play twice a year and need to beat in the league. And they drafted 6'1" and over corners and safeties. And it led to probably the greatest defensive backfield of all time. All collectively, both corners and both safeties.
Yeah.
Because they had to. Because they were like, all right, well, if you're going to have big physical receivers and run the ball all the time, then we need to combat you. And then they did it.
Yeah.
And San Francisco thought they had it and didn't adapt. They didn't get smaller and shiftier. Yeah. So like, I don't. And Pete Carroll is now adjusted differently to the league because Pete Carroll is really good. The Seattle manager is now adjusted differently to where the league is now. He's really good at doing that.
Is Pete Carroll still at Seattle? Didn't he get fired?
He is still at Seattle.
Still there. He's a coach, not a manager. I don't know what the difference is, but
well, whatever. I said manager. Well, I was equating it, but like if Big Sam can adapt his style to today's game, then he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's not his job is to adapt his style right now. His job is to keep leads up.
His job is to pick up 8 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think my point is that he's going to have to adapt because picking up 8 points is going to require adapting.
We'll see.
There might be 3 or 6 points that he needs, but 3 or 4 points that he needs. We'll say 5.
He doesn't need a whole lot. They've got 4 games left. They're equal on points of Forest. I mean, and Forest has some tough games coming up. So. Yep.
Sean, all right. City leads. Is Leeds winning? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
On paper. Okay. So 2-1. City beating Leeds. 2 of us picking. Now the score will be 2-1.
No.
It's going to be like 4-0 at halftime.
The game's ending 6-1.
Yeah, 6-1.
Yeah, we're not
5-0 down in 20 minutes.
Not that bad. We're not predicting that game because we're predicting the next game. We're predicting this is the Sean Derby. The boogeyman's coming out of the closet. This is Spurs hosting Crystal Palace. Sean, tell me why Crystal Palace are going to beat Spurs. Because they always beat Spurs, right?
They're not.
Oh, it's going to be a draw?
2-2 draw.
Okay. Sean's got 2-2.
We give up 2 goals in the first half. We score 2 goals in the second half.
Just vibing, status quo. Business as usual.
That's what we do. That's what we do. Whatever we give them in the first half, we'll give you in the second half, baby.
No, I think Crystal Palace are at a point where they don't have anything they're playing for. They're pleased with where they are, and I don't see them. I think Spurs win this game. I think this game ends about 3-1 for Spurs.
Roy has them vibing though.
I understand that, but
so 2-1 Crystal Palace.
All right, we'll see.
Zaha winner in the 87th minute.
87. Okay.
Watch Zaha not even start their play.
All right. Well, we'll see. Okay. So
part of me thinks that Roy Hodgson thinks so slow because he's so old that he can't even understand Zaha.
That's so mean.
Wow.
Mean. I did want to ask you this question though, Sean, about Tottenham. If I think that the players have changed their mentality after Cellini was sacked. I think that Ryan Mason has instilled maybe a different belief in this team. I think that they've been more willing to fight for Ryan Mason. Is there a world where you would accept Ryan Mason as the first team coach at Tottenham? On a permanent basis?
Yeah. And the only reason being because of his unceremonious retirement, a lot of players have respect for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was the head injury retirement.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That a lot of players have respect for him, that he moved on. He went to Hull City, I believe, where he got the head injury.
I think that's correct.
Retired. A lot of the old Harry Kane, Dele's not there, but like Dyer played with him. A lot of players played with him. Lloris, Davies, that are still on the team. Mentioning all my starting players that still play.
Your whole starting 11 from when he was there.
But I guess my question stems from the fact that, like, Spurs, would you concede that Tottenham are in a transitioning period right now?
Yeah, I've been saying that for a while. That we need to get younger. We need to get younger, better. Like, we need to be replacing people before we need to replace them.
Yeah. Do you think that Ryan Mason could be a good bridge manager for 2 or 3 seasons, try and get you back fighting like consistently for Europe, consistently fighting for Champions League, and then when you get to that point, maybe going to a more refined manager perhaps, if he's not like challenging for silverware, things like that? Or do you think Daniel Levy is okay with that? Do you think Daniel Levy like is more enamored by the idea of having the name of Nagelsmann or the name of Xavi Alonso or something like that?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
The problem is we have an idiot running our club.
Yeah.
So that's our problem. I'm fine with Ryan Mason, giving Ryan Mason a 1-year deal of like, hey, let's see what you do. We'll reevaluate in January. If it's awful in the fall, then we're probably gonna see what's up. We're probably gonna test the market.
Yeah, but that's such a dangerous thing, because like the big name managers don't want to come in the middle of the season. They want to come in the summer.
That's true.
Can Tottenham afford to give Ryan Mason 6 months? Like, look what happened. We gave Frank 10 games.
Well.
I don't. I'm asking. I don't know. Right? Like, like you said. But
the difference is we're going to look like a different team next year. Harry Kane is gone.
You think so?
And he hasn't signed the contract.
I mean, doesn't the contract go through like 2024, 2025, something like that?
Yeah, but he hasn't signed the extension. So this is the extension year that if we don't extend him, we have to sell him.
Or he walks a year later.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, like, if we don't get that contract signed in the first month, we just go ahead and sell him. Like, we're gonna get. He's gonna come off of a 27, 28 goal year for like the umpteenth year in a row. Like, he's done it for like 5 years in a row. Like, what else do you want? The United should pay at least 120 million for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much are United paying for him?
I hope the price tag's north of 120. And then Son's worth probably at least 80. I'm hoping 3 digits. But if we sell Kane, we should sell Son.
My only reservation about Son is that he has had an off season. Like, this year has not been good for him.
Yeah, we're not going to get full value for him, but I don't see a point in keeping both. If they're both around the same age and they had such a connection together, I do not see a point with an off season from Son of, if we sell Kane, keeping Son just for what? Like, just the Asian tour in the preseason?
Yeah.
Like, is that
That's
our
where
only
you guys
reason?
go. I mean, that's where you go every summer.
Yeah. Like, is that, if that's the only reason we keep him, that's cheap, and Daniel Levy's worse than I ever thought he ever was.
I mean,
that gives you a 20 goal scorer still.
But he's
so, like,
not.
You can still.
He wasn't that this year.
He's got like 6 goals. He's had a really bad year.
He's come on since Conte left.
No, he had a hat trick under Conte.
Right, but look at his from post Conte. He's had a few more goal contributions since Conte's left. So I think, I mean, I'm with you, but I wouldn't put it past Daniel Levy to keep him to sell some tickets and sell some merch.
I'm just saying, if we sell Kane, we should sell Son too. Just go ahead and clear it out. Let's get a new striker. Let's get a new left wing. Or let Richarlison play left wing full time. Because then he plays more than 10 minutes a game under Conte.
All right. So last year, his totals was 24 goals, 22, 8. He's got 14 goals this season across all competitions. It's not amazing, but I think if Son were to leave Tottenham, he would leave abroad. I don't think he would go to another English team.
No, he would go back to Europe. He would probably go back to Germany. No, well, he did speak poorly about his time in Germany, about it being racially abused. So he probably wouldn't go back to Germany. But I think you're right. He would go abroad. He would go to Spain, or France, I think.
Yeah, because that's the thing about him, is that I think that if you're a foreign player and you come into a league, and you have a relatively successful career at a single club, it's much harder to then, and they're a big club, it's much harder to like then go to another club in England. But since Harry Kane's English, he doesn't want to leave England, you know?
Yeah.
So
he wants that all-time goal scorers record.
I think beyond that, like, I think he doesn't want to uproot his young family. Like, you could have a second home in Manchester and still like maintain your main residence in London, but just live in Manchester during the football season. You know what I mean? Like, you could even like leave your kids in London, let them go to the same school they're going to, and just like be in Manchester on nights you have to be in Manchester. You know what I mean?
True.
Wouldn't be ideal, but I don't know. They're rich enough. He can figure it out. But yeah. Okay. So you think who's going to win this game though? Okay, you said it's a draw. Okay, we already told it. I guess we need to look at Newcastle Arsenal.
Do we want to do that, or do we want to do the relegation 72-pointer?
Well, that's first? The question. Do you want to finish with the game of the weekend, or do you want to do the relegation?
I think we finished with the game of the weekend and we hit the relegation first.
Okay, so
we can hit the relegation pretty quickly, right? Because like, Southampton, I think we all agree are relegated.
Oh yeah, without question.
Like they're
I mean,
done.
To be fair, if Southampton were to beat Forest, that could go That could go a long way to changing the conversation. But I do think Southampton are done.
I think Southampton are still done.
I mean, I'm not sure what their fixtures are coming up. You keep going, Brad.
And Forest needs to win to stay up. Like, this game, I think, is bigger for Forest than it is for Southampton.
The big problem for Southampton is Forest is their only relegation team that they're playing against. So if they had another relegation team that they were playing against, like, if they're playing against Everton, if they're playing against Leicester or something like that, Leeds, that's, you start changing the conversation when you're playing other relegation teams. But they've got Fulham, Brighton, and Liverpool after Forest. So I think Southampton. There's
the one chance to get points, but yeah, they're out. But so I mean, Forest needs to win this game. If Forest wins this game, then we can keep talking about Chelsea not making being in the championship next year, right? Like, for y'all's memes, y'all want Forest to win. I think Forest win anyways. I think Southampton doesn't have much to play for, besides their players trying to see which players from the Southampton team will stay in the Premier League.
Lavia.
Clearly.
Apparently Arsenal are interested in him as well.
All three of us are interested in him.
From week one, I told you guys on this podcast that Lavia is absolutely phenomenal because we played them week one.
Yeah. I think.
And he's 18.
I don't know Southampton's squad well enough to be able to speak to who would stay. I don't know.
Ward-Prowse.
Yes, obviously Ward-Prowse.
Ward-Prowse, and their goalie is a young kid, Ganazu, but maybe the championship helps him.
Well, the thing about has Ward-Prowse only played for Southampton?
Yes.
Like, that's his whole career?
Yeah. I think so.
I could see a world where he stays.
There is, because he's a Southampton Academy boy and all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he leaves. He's 28. That's weird.
And he probably won't get the same playing time. Like, I mean, does he go? Like, if a top 7 club comes calling,
I don't know.
Does he go for a shot at that trophy? Because, like,
if he goes to a Brentford, if he goes to a Crystal Palace, I think he walks into their starting lineup.
Easy.
So, like,
easy.
Saying that you're not sure his playing time is going to be the same. I think depending on his level, if he goes to Tottenham, I don't think he might not start at Tottenham. He might start at Tottenham. I don't know. If he goes to Manchester United, does he just replace Christian Eriksen? I don't know. Maybe. The problem is he's got some really important, like, other aspects to his game. Like the fact he's a master dead ball striker, right? So, like, amazing. So, like, you pair above average, like, just regular fielding, like, abilities, like he plays in the Premier League. He's an above average midfielder. He's
good.
But then maybe one of the best dead ball strikers in the league. On top of that, like, you could find a position for him on the field. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
maybe not at City, maybe not at Arsenal, maybe not at Liverpool.
Of Liverpool, yes. What do you mean? Liverpool doesn't have a midfield.
But he's kind of playing the same. Well, maybe not the same exact position as Thiago. I don't know.
You drop Henderson for him.
I mean, obviously, yes, you would drop Henderson for Ward-Prowse, but I don't know. That's interesting. We're spending a lot of time talking about Forest players that are going to get transferred to other teams because are we assuming that Nottingham Forest win this match?
Yes.
Forest are in a pretty decent run of form, aren't they?
Yes, I think Navas is going to, like, I think any chance Southampton has, Navas stops.
One win out of 5 is, yeah.
Yeah, if you consider 1 win out of 5 good form, then absolutely the emphatic yes out of Brad is correct.
I mean, it's either a Forest win or it's a draw, or it's a 0-0 draw.
Well, you know what, James? That is a good run of form when you compare it to Chelsea's.
True. Or Everton or Southampton. So they've picked up 2 more points over the last 5 games than Southampton have. So obviously, it's a good run of form.
Yeah.
This is
Let's get into the game of the week, shall we?
That's an interesting game. I think I'm definitely gonna watch that game on Monday for sure. Okay, game of the week. St. James's Park, Arsenal Newcastle, Everton. So
At
Newcastle.
St. James's Park.
Yeah. Newcastle.
Everton plays at St. James's Park.
All right. Yeah, hardy har. James misspoke. Tell me something I didn't already know. Okay, so this game is the early game on Sunday, but it's at 11:30 Eastern. And so I don't know. This was a really crushing defeat for us last year. So we played at Newcastle right after we lost to Tottenham last season, and so played a terrible game, maybe the worst game, one of the worst games we played all season last year. And this Newcastle team is really good, like without question. This Newcastle team is really good. I could see this game going any direction if I'm being completely honest.
Was it the two of the top 5 defenses?
Yeah, Newcastle I think are first. Arsenal are like third or fourth, something like that.
I think 4th or 5th.
I think they're tied for 4th. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Chelsea's third. That's the only reason why I know that, because it's our one good stat.
Yeah. Well, it's only one goal. You're only one goal better than Arsenal.
I know you guys are going to be absolutely floored by this revelation, but normally the teams at the top of the table have the lowest goal.
That is true.
Goals allowed.
I know. That's why we're 12th. And we're third.
Yeah, you got so the best defenses, if you're going by that metric, you guys are going to just be surprised by this, but they're normally at the top of the table. If you give up a lot of goals, you don't normally finish at the top of the table.
What happens if you score a lot of goals? What's a better metric? Do you think the defense metric is better, or the offense metric is better? Which one's more indicative of position in the table, do you think?
Well, there's teams that have 10, 6, and 4 goal differential that are in 4th, 5th, 4th, 6th, and 7th respectively.
Okay.
And all of them have really low goals allowed.
Well, but you dodged my question. Do you think defense is more indicative of league position, or offense is more indicative of league position?
Defense, absolutely. If you do not give up, you cannot lose games if you do not give up goals.
Yeah, but you also aren't winning a lot of games. I think goals scored is generally more indicative of league position.
Okay, well, Man City have 87 goals forced and 30 goals allowed. So where do you want to start?
Well, yeah, obviously,
Chelsea
they're
has
both important.
33 goals allowed and 37, 33 goals allowed and
57, they have a 57 goal differential.
Yes, obviously,
Chelsea
both are important.
-7 goal differential with the third best with the third fewest goals given up. I think it's goal scored.
The highest in the top 6 are Tottenham, and they have 57, but they have 63 goals scored. We're still in the top 6.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you're making my point.
We've had an awful season.
I think you're making my point.
It's goals. No, it's goals allowed is the more important one. If you didn't allow,
explain Chelsea then. Look at Chelsea's. Look at the 12th. Look at Chelsea's position. Look how many goals we scored.
What have I been saying? If we don't allow 2+ goals in the first 12 minutes of every game that we've ever played in the history of this season, then we wouldn't be in this position in the first place.
Yeah, but you can overcome that with scoring more goals.
Yeah, this isn't basketball where you have to play defense. Like,
but we wouldn't have to overcome anything. We could just win it in the second half.
Sure, that's fine.
The fact is, you're scoring goals, and you're up the table.
I think if we did a case study over the last 5 years, we would find that goals scored is more indicative of league position than goals conceded. Now, I would say that probably the best teams, the teams with the best defenses, are also the teams that are scoring the most goals. I think those are probably also true. Those go hand in hand. But obviously, there's an outlier here with Chelsea, at least this season. That
says goal scored is the most important metric. But all right, so let's get back to Newcastle Arsenal. Newcastle is banging, but Arsenal just beat Chelsea. When Arsenal beats Chelsea, they go on a tear. I'm gonna say Arsenal's winning this game.
I mean, I'm okay with that world. I would like to see Arsenal excise the demons of last year and get a pretty resounding victory here. But it's going to be tight. It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, I don't think you guys destroy. I'm gonna say 2-1.
I'll take a dodgy penalty. I'll take a dodgy penalty in this game to win the game.
Saka actually scores.
He's missed one penalty this season. Like, what is this? This is some ridiculous level hate.
It's because it's the most recent penalty. That's the only reason why I said is because he missed a penalty and you guys ended up drawing, right?
Absurd.
Yeah.
Nah, West Ham.
You ended up drawing the Bournemouth.
It was West Ham.
Sorry, West Ham.
Nah, it's all good. I don't expect you to remember Arsenal results.
One of those teams I need to lose a couple of games.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to see Arsenal win this game, and I would have told you a couple months ago that this is a game that Arsenal have to win if they want to win the league. And while that's still true, this is a game that Arsenal would have to win if they want to win the league. But I think that ship has probably sailed. Yeah.
Right into the right out of harbor.
Yeah, I don't know. You think Arsenal are going to win 2-1? I think it's probably. I don't know, man. I am having such a hard time predicting. I'm going to go with a draw. I don't know what the score is going to be, but I'm going to go with a draw. 0-0. No goals. 0-0 draw.
Wow. Sean?
Given your run of form, it is going to be 3-1 Bournemouth. I mean, what? Who are we talking
about? All right, guys. So if you're new here and you haven't yet done it, hit the subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell, drop us a comment down below. Obviously, the three of us are tired because this was the most rambling podcast we've ever done. It was the most tangential, off-the-wall thing we've ever done. If you're on the podcast, say hit it with a follow, all those things. Watch a game this weekend. You should watch a game and let us know this weekend. Let us know how many goals Bournemouth are going to score against Arsenal.
5-star review it too if you can.
Yeah, definitely 5-star review. Definitely earn that 5
out. If we get another 5-star review, we will read them out.
That's KS Brad G at KS Brad G. That guy down there at Whiteheart_Sean. I'm at James Tiffany. Collectively at Redcard_Radio. Check back next week because we'll have a full slate of podcasts, everything as normal. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.